Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We have some exciting, interesting stuff going on. This morning on the this morning at the Zero Dark 30, I talked about China and underwater cables that were cut up by Finland. And now we have a cable cut leading to Taiwan that China has managed to do. We've got a lot of interesting things going on. I discussed the threat, that Trump has of buying Greenland, taking back the Panama Canal with force, violence, annexing Canada, and basically making Mexico a federal territory. So I was contacted by a longtime, well-known subscriber who I'm going to leave in the anonymous category so we can just have the discussion. I don't want anyone else to catch any arrows. This is a little bit of a conspiracy theory. And earlier I thought, I don't want to talk about this quite yet. But after I realized our dear subscribing friend was also on the same thing, I wanted to bring it up as well. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's roll into this. And the comment was, we need to keep an eye on the formation of a North American Union. The globalists had been planning on dividing up the countries into 10 regions for decades. The plan was openly proposed by one of their organizations, the Club of Rome, back in 1973. The European Union was the first step in that process. Trump and Kevin O'Leary are already discussing and promoting some form of union with Canada and now Greenland, just like the map indicates. Some say that it's in jest, but I'm not convinced of that. Why did Trudeau leave so abruptly? It does raise eyebrows. Now, Trump is also considering renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That would make sense if the plan were to unify the continent. We as conservatives need to be very careful, because there are wolves in sheep's clothing at all levels. Keep a sharp eye out. I thought that was an amazingly insightful observation. Right, the Club of Rome is another one of these Bilderberg, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations type organizations that was prominent in the 70s. One of the concerns here is Trump leading us into this. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it play into the hands of the Great Reset? You'll own nothing and like it. New World Order baloney? Or is it Trump trying to break away from that same set of organizations? Now, in the book 1984, the world is broken into three parts, right? There's Oceania, which is basically the United States, Europe, and China, right? There's those three different elements, and they're all at war with one another, if I recall correctly. Very interesting. Very interesting. So I responded to the long-time, very insightful subscriber and said, you were the first person to contact me about the Club of Rome and the generations-old plan for a unified continent over here. Now, my idea is that, Trump was trolling the powers that be and the Davos douches and trolling Canada and our neighbors. There's that option. And then there's the other option, which is Trump is a serious uniparty stooge and we are the dupes, right? That's right. If Trump is the good guy and he's trying to protect our sovereignty and nationality and create a nationalist super state, then yeah, That's more on the positive side. But if he's working for the bad guys, then that's not good, right? How do we know until we know? Now, my response continues with either way, we could see a serious reset of monetary systems, the which nations ally with which nations, and which nations become, how do we say this? Not really enemy states, but rather competitive states, right? And then, of course, we're going to see a changing of military alliances and political geographic boundaries changing. If Greenland becomes a federal territory, if Canada were to become annexed, it would have to start at federal territory. You don't just become a state, you have to be a federal territory and go through a process. So let's continue with what my response was. The United States of America may, under a new system, this reset, could leave NATO, right? Trump has already threatened, and you know, I'm tired of us giving our money to NATO. I don't see any benefit to it. None whatsoever. Right? We can just nuke anyone we want. We don't need NATO to give us permission. Right? We are the superpower. The European Union and the rest of NATO are a bunch of, I don't want to call them freeloaders, but the military organization NATO is not being funded properly by everyone. Now, the USA, or Trump, if you will, under this new system, this reset, leave NATO, could get rid of England as an ally. England is threatening us, really. The United States of America could go fully North American Union and become a strongly nationalist system and alliance to protect our energy, our food, our currency, our trade, etc. So we are definitely living in interesting times, folks. And this is a genuine concern of mine looking forward. It's a genuine concern. Yes, this is a conspiracy theory at this point. And I don't want to start a bunch of squabbles about, is Trump deep state paid for, bought shill, or is Trump trying to be good? That's not the discussion. It was just a conspiracy theory. I don't want to start any squabbles and fights and bullshit. I'm waiting to see what happens, but we do live in very interesting times. We really do. I'm extremely, very, very concerned about China versus Taiwan and that underwater communications cable cutting. I'm concerned about the Finland cable cutting. I'm concerned about these drones that were flown over, these super high-tech drones, right? The next generation drones. We never got an answer, and now they just seem to be gone, right? But the fella that boomed the Trump hotel with his fireworks and explosive package, the Green Beret, we'll call him an insider, or rather a compartmentalized tool. He was warning. He said, this is a wake-up call regarding this technology, right? Will we be independent of the New World Order with Trump? Or will Trump, drive us right into their waiting and willing arms? Right? That's what we're looking at. That is the conspiracy theory. The title up here doesn't reflect it. It just says Wednesday's video. In any event, I wanted to share that with you, folks. We have some interesting things going on. Please, if you're on YouTube or a YouTube type platform, thumbs up, share the video, share the internet address, whatever you've got. If you're on X, Twitter, be sure and heart the video. Be sure and follow the channel. Be sure and retweet it. And write in the comments for this video. Watch this. Conspiracy theory could make your socks pop right off. All right. Get your questions into good golly, Mr. Ooman here. And we will talk about some more things going on. Joe Biden, even though he's leaving now in, 12 days decided to give another $500 million to Ukraine for military aid, another $500 million. Didn't he just give in the last week $5 billion or so dollars? California's burning. Los Angeles is burning. North Carolinians or Carolinians, right? Tennesseans and others are suffering in this country. And Joe Biden sends another $500 million right out of the country into the willing hands of those who are laundering money. Unfreaking believable. You know, and speaking of the LA fire, I wonder how many of you have been following it. Give me 1 second, folks. Okay, I apologize for that interruption. Uh, kind of an interesting phone number popped through, and wasn't too sure what that was all about. But we're back. And with respect to the Los Angeles fires, folks, you know that this isn't just Gavin Newsom. This is a DEI failure, folks. That's right. The Los Angeles fire chief, guess what? Is a DEI hire. That's right. The fire chief is, well, a lesbian. And do you know what she wants? She wants more women and more LGBTQ firefighters. That's just what we need. People who cannot do the heavy lifting. The numbers of women out there who can lift and do as much as men is not that high. This is not a sexist comment. It's not a racist comment. It's not a homophobic comment. It has to do with testosterone and strength. And funny, we have this DEI captain, and now we have a catastrophic wildfire in LA. Is Los Angeles getting the LA Haina treatment? That's right, Lahaina Maui treatment. Apparently, they're running out of water. Some fire hydrants are completely dry. They don't have enough pressure. They can't seem to get it under control. I guess we're going to find out. But LA, Los Angeles, LA, Lahaina, Hawaii, are they going to burn as much of LA down as possible? Now, the way I see this is Gavin Newsom loves fires. I think he might be a pyromaniac. I think Gavin Newsom might. He let California burn when I was still living there. The entire extreme northeast section of California, that entire corner of the state, oh, on the map, it looks green. If you were to look at it now, it's a fucking charred mess. Cities burnt to the ground, folks. You heard about the Paradise Fire. This puts that to shame. Entire cities burning to the ground and being wiped out. That includes public buildings, private buildings, public houses, right? People, private residences, camping areas, fishing areas, forests, animal habitat, wildlife, old growth, new growth, every growth. And what did he do at that time? Do you recall? Gavin Newsom, who is now currently governor. What did he do? He sent California firefighters up to Oregon. Just unbelievable, folks. These people, I have no doubt, are absolutely awful and evil. Absolutely awful and evil. Now, let us continue, if we shall. Speaking of awful, evil people, folks, it has hit the fan. It is absolutely hit the fan. Right? President Trump, he went off on Gavin Newsom, by the way, as well, for his role. Right? For letting for basically just causing all of this shit. The DEI bullshit, the destruction, the taxes, the handing children over to freaks and fruitcakes. It really is an issue. Government is turning out to be incredibly, incredibly evil. Am I wrong? Right? Again, I share my opinions. You guys get to make your own decisions. Come up with your own opinion. England, folks. England is doubling down on pedophilia. England is doubling down on its attempt to hide. That's what they're doing. They're covering up their corruption. They're covering up the pedophilia. They're covering up their weakness, and literally proving that Elon Musk and President Trump are absolutely correct about England. The British Prime Minister, Mr. Starmer, that guy. He's a failure. But the Labour Party, folks, the Labour Ministers of Parliament, that's like their congressmen, the Labour MPs, as directed by the Prime Minister Starmer, they have voted to block a national inquiry into the grooming gangs, crime spree, rape spree, scandal, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is controversial stuff, but folks, this isn't controversial stuff. It's right in our face. It's right in our faces. And the government says, no, we're not going to look into the fact that 250,000 and more and counting little girls in England have been raped by foreigners who form gangs to kidnap, hold hostage, and gang rape little girls. We're talking, folks, 15, 12, 10 years old and under. That's who these people are. Their religious belief system, you know who they are. The countries they come from, you know who they are. You know who they are. There should be no doubt in your mind. This is what these guys look like that are raping little girls. And the ministers of parliament, under the direction of Prime Minister Starmer, are allowing it. Folks, Elon Musk has been tweeting lately. Now, X, Twitter X, has said we need more positive messages. We need more uplifting good stuff. Well, you follow Elon Musk, and there's not a lot there. He is calling out the English, every dirty name in the book. Some dirty names, folks. And that's good. Good. I wonder if his social credit score is going to go down. I don't care. But here's the deal, folks. England is not acting like an ally. England is not acting like a civilized nation. England is handing itself over to these people. They're handing themselves over to Aloha snack bar fools, knaves, corrupt criminals. That is unbelievable. And they want to do that to us here. That's right. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden. I mean, everyone knows about Joe Sniffy Joe, and Barack Obama and Michael Obama love pizza and hot dogs. Little kids, pizza and hot dogs. They're pushing for minor attracted persons, MAPs, to be accepted socially as well as legally. They want to legalize the very thing that England has been caught for doing and for refusing today to stop. These people are beyond sick, folks. So when I heard, hey, England wants to step away from America, I'm like, good. Okay, NATO wants to be jackasses and tell us we have to fund and fight Russia. Okay, we're out of NATO. Canada is key to our national security and geographic protective barrier. They want to become part of the United States. I think we can do just fine, actually, in all honesty, with a strong neighbor to the north. But not if they get people in charge that basically have this mentality, which is what Canada is doing to itself. Folks, people who look like this, people who look like you, people who sound like us, right? Americans, not people who look and sound like these fucking idiots. People who look like us. And I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Pakistani. I don't care if you're Indian. I don't care if you're from Africa or descended from Africa. I don't care if you're European, Scandinavian, Russian. I don't give a shit as long as you have this basic facial expression, right? Not this facial expression, which is, aloha, snack boar, I'm going to kill you. Wait, nobody wants that. Man, woman, old, young, doesn't matter. We need to be Americans. And Canadians, for God's sake, they better save their own country. They are, I don't want to annex them. They're in debt up to their fucking eyeballs. They're socialists. Their medical system's destroyed. They've let in an incredible number of jackasses from other countries who have absolutely less respect for Canada than the aloha snack bars in this country have for this country. Because Canada is belly soft. And I'm not talking about the good people. I'm talking about the government. Right? They're not as bad as England, where the police are getting down on their prayer mats and facing Mecca and dancing with the Aloha Snack Bar crowd in the street and allowing the Aloha Snack Bar crowd to violate people by assaulting them, arresting good old-fashioned plain white English people, arresting them for daring to complain about the Aloha Snack Bar people out there making life hell, bothering people, setting fire to stuff, destroying churches, destroying landmarks, and raping little girls. Just a big fat wow, folks. Yeah, it is really an awful situation. Grooming gangs. They're rape gangs. I guess the mainstream media has to use nice words. Nice words. We need to protect our country, folks. So this idea that Trump, right, wants to protect America. I mean, we're folks. Old Chinese proverb, right? May you live in interesting times. We are in one of the most interesting times this nation has seen since World War II breaking out, since the Civil War, since the War of 1812, and since the American Revolution. I just named four other times. And yes, I believe World War II was an extension of World War I. Very interesting times. Right? What happened with World War II was a dramatic redrawing of national boundaries around the world. United States, not so much. Europe got cut up and new political boundaries drawn. Allies. We had strange allies going into the war, and we had strange allies and enemies coming out of World War II. We had the Bretton Woods Agreement, which was an international monetary new world order that was created that made gold the reserve value of all currencies. And that all changed in 1971 when we had a monetary crisis here in the United States of America. That was a big deal. But what's coming, I think, this year, 2025, for the next 5 to 10 years, could be some very dramatic things. If the United States leaves NATO, NATO could crumble. Europe, go ahead and take care of yourself. I listened to an Englishman today say, what do we do? England is pissed off America. It's pissed off Russia. America's pissed off Russia, pissed off China. Everyone's pissed off at America. Everyone is pissed off. So are we going to cut ties and just say, okay, America's on its own? Energy independence, we actually can do that. Food independence, we can actually do that. Manufacturing independence? Yeah, I don't fucking think so. Right? Because we rely on the rest of the world to supply cheap labor, cheaply made parts and components, and to assemble them cheaply for us. Big mistake. And that's just the automobile industry. And then you want to talk about critical minerals, critical metals, right? China maintains mining, processing, and distribution of 95% of the world's, and this is a very loose term, rare earth metals, right? Metals that are used for all sorts of technology, from computers to electric motors and magnets, etc. We are on the verge of telling the rest of the world we don't want anything to do with it. Is that what Trump is up to, or is this some other fucking game? Right? I happen to know of several U.S. companies which are heavily invested in rare earth metal extraction, processing, and manufacturing. But even though this effort was started 5 years ago, it takes time to develop the mines, to acquire the mines, to acquire the processes, the knowledge, because China has been doing it. Very similarly, Kazatomprom, which is over by Russia and China, in fact, it's right on the border, has produced 40% of the world's uranium. And the rest of the world shut down, basically, because Russia was supplying the world with repurposed nuclear weapons uranium. And so now, that has been cut off, literally cut off. Everyone's choosing sides. So there's a couple of different ways this can go, in my opinion. One of those ways, we just all break up and trade becomes difficult. Things become more expensive. Standard of living goes down, and they're going to have to admit we're in a recession. They're finally going to have to admit it, and they'll do it just to hurt Trump anyways. Or we go to World War IV. I think we're already in World War III. World War IV and make things just get crazy. But England is going to double down. They're not afraid of the Aloha snack bar types. No, they want to hide and cover up and allow these grooming gangs, these rape gangs, to continue to rape their daughters and their wives. What happens when they start murdering people? Oh, wait, they're already doing that. But murdering people en masse. It is a giant shit show. Get your questions below. Whether you're on X, Subscribestar, thepreparedmind.club, wherever you're at, Facebook, get on there. Now, one last item I'll touch on before you guys and your questions in the inner circle. A trans fruitcake in the state of Florida has basically screwed himself over and helped the state of Florida fix an error in their system. That's right, a transgender activist was on social media bragging that he, who pretends to be a woman, was exploiting a loophole in the system to change his gender on a Florida driver's license. Well, the state of Florida, folks, sent him a letter thanking him for exposing this loophole and error, and then reverted his license back to being a male. I love living in Florida. I love it. Too bad, fruitcake. You screwed yourself over. Oh, he's going to be tossing his fruit salad tonight. Right, man? I got that old fruit salad on the screen for you, buddy. It's up. Oh, look at that fruit salad. Tossing it about. All righty, let's do this. Fucking morons. I'll see you guys on the other side here real quick. All righty, everybody. Here we are. That's the shortest commercial break on the planet. Oh, I'm glad that you're all here with me on the preparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, X, and Facebook also. We may end up getting rid of Facebook because it seems a little redundant, but we're not sure. We got to talk to Jolene about that. Talk to Uman. Have a prepared mind group party. But we want to make sure we're available everywhere. But we want to build a really, really, really powerful network on X. The reason, because with YouTube, Subscribestar, the club, you can watch the videos, but it doesn't give you access to Washington, D.C. senators, Washington, D.C. representatives, Washington, D.C. the president, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is going to be more public, and then also the bureaucracy. But on X, you can watch a video and then go right over, find your congressman, find your senators, find everybody, and start commenting to them. Right? It's a powerful tool for getting the message and for sending the message out to DC and telling them this is what we want. Whether it's a Boebert or Massey, Big Marge, whether it's your senator or the president, you can get a hold of everybody, whether they're in your district or not. Push them. Let's power into this on X, folks. I feel really good about it. We've grown our network there. It is now tripled in size since we started this. So let's help spread the words. Mr. Uman, who's going to step up first? Who's got something to say, an opinion, a thought? And Uman said, this is why I keep asking, is Trump the good guy or just another mob that isn't quite as bad as the current mob? That's what we don't know. And people think, well, you're anti-Trump and you're questioning a good thing and you should trust the plan. There'll be none of that trusting the plan stuff. We spent 4 years trusting the plan the first time around, and it turned out to be, nothing more than a bullshit story. But yeah, I want to believe Trump is there. Now, what did Trump do? What has Trump done? He took a bullet through the fucking ear. He has been attacked personally, legally, civilly, right? Legally meaning the government's gone after him, and civilly, he's had people individually sue him, trying to destroy him. Right? He has done a lot. He stopped. This is the biggest one of all at this time and place. He stopped Kamala Harris from becoming. Oh, leave that right on the screen, please. Thank you, Mr. Uman. He stopped Kamala from becoming the president. He did. He stopped Kamala from becoming the president, which would have been a guaranteed express run right to socialism with a fascist bent. It would be socialist communist for us little people, but don't worry, the elites would keep their money, their property, their wealth, their influence, their power. That's called fascism. When the rich people get to keep their shit, but the government takes all of our shit. That is fascism. That is exactly what Trump saved us from. So the question is, right, is there another organization? There we get the World Economic Forum, New World Order, Bilderberg Group. Is Trump belonging to another organization, a mob, if you want to call them that, organized crime, organized non-government organization? And yeah, mob put out hits on their rivals. But, this is it. Would you rather live in Chicago with drug gangs driving up and down the streets, shooting everyone the way they do now? Would you rather have, say, the Italian mafia, who says you pay your money and we make sure that there's no violence, right? You just got to pay your protection money. Which mob would you rather have? Which gang would you rather have? Not that either of them are the greatest, but I'd rather have the one that doesn't have drive-by shootings on a daily fucking basis. Is that what we're dealing with here? Right? We've got New World Order, heavy duty, fuck you over, World Economic Forum, or New World Order, light. I don't know. I don't believe, me personally, that Trump is a bad guy. I think Trump is a good guy, but I think we live in a strange fucking world. I think there are bad guys trying to influence Trump. I think there's bad guys threatening Trump. Obviously, he took a bullet through the ear. Not good. Not good. No William Tell, Apple, put it on my head. You shoot it, I trust you. I don't think anybody, Trump included, would shoot somebody to just shoot me through the ear and make it look good, okay? Nobody says just shoot me through the ear and we're good. As far as nationalism, Trump loves America. This is evidenced by his entire life, his professional life, his personal life, where he has helped numerous people, regardless of wealth, age, race. Right? He has helped numerous amounts of people in the Black community, the Hispanic community, people who have diseases, cancer. Right? Cancer. He's helped cancer victims, people who need operations, children. He's been very generous that way. He seems to have a genuine love for people and for the country. He may not be the world's greatest economist. He's not going to be Milton Friedman. He may not be the world's greatest philosopher. He's not going to be he's not going to be me. He's not going to be Walter Williams. He's not going to be Thomas Sowell. Right? He's not going to be that type of philosopher. He's going to be his own philosopher. Is he going to be stubborn? Yes. Is he going to be bombastic? You bet. How about, is he going to engage in arguments with great bellicosity? I expect it wholeheartedly. It's coming. One of the big questions, though, is whether or not Trump is the good guy or the bad guy. Whether or not the World Economic Forum is going to punish America for having Trump. Whether or not Trump battles as hard as we need him to or just hard enough. No matter what, you and I had better fucking be prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self. No matter what, if Trump is the bad guy, you better be prepared because shit's about to get real. If Trump is the good guy, you better be prepared because shit's about to get real. It really is. There is a massive problem with the currency, the banking system. There's a massive problem with investments, real estate property. And if the bad guys want to do it, trust me, the bad guys are going to do it. Right? They don't care if the banks are in New York City, the bad guys, New World Order, World Economic Forum. They don't care if it's in America. They'll shut the fucking light switch off, bink, and screw us over. The question is, what is the new world going to look like in 10 years? Is America going to be from, the Panama Canal up to the North Pole where Santa lives? Is that essentially going to become, the United States of America plus federal territories? Right? Is Trump going to be able to strong arm Mexico into shutting the fuck up and behaving and listening? Or we take away all of their economic prosperity, what little they have, because it is such an awfully corrupt country. I wouldn't even know how to begin to do business in Mexico if I lived there. I wouldn't know. How the fuck do you do business in a country where if you turn around, you get shot in the fucking head? Where someone just goes in and steals all your money right out of the bank. Literally. And what do they give a fuck? Right? Is Trump going to be able to control them and basically make them a federal territory? Or we'll just screw them. Let them die on the vine. Let them beg Russia, China, Japan, and Europe. Let them beg them for business. Pull all of our manufacturing out. Trump could do that. He could fucking do that in a hurry, folks. So that's why Mexico wants to play and get along? We'll find out. Canada, play and get along? We'll find out. Denmark, folks, a country that's about the size of, Vermont, controls Greenland, which is about the size of California. What's going on with that? And is there actually a giant island at the North Pole? Is the world hollow? Is the earth flat? Is the moon made of cheese? We've got a lot of stuff that I think is going to be revealed to us, hopefully in the next 10 years. China's anti-gravitic, electrogravitic, those are lots of good questions. Thank you, Uman. China, if these drones were Chinese, and they're powered with some next generation wow technology, and we are going to learn about it. We're going to learn about it. I guess the world needs a wake-up call, and it's happening. All right, Mr. Uman, who's next? I vote for the moon is made of cheese. Mr. Diving Frog says, truthfully, I don't want to be allies with anyone. I just want to take care of my country. We've been taking care of everyone else. Now it's time to take care of ourselves. That's been a big deal for a long time. Since I was in grade school, I heard about sending money to Israel, sending money to Europe, supporting NATO. I kept asking, well, what about our country? Right, the early 1980s, Ronald Reagan, president, Reaganomics was started. We were in an awful recession. Interest rates were through the fucking roof. You know, nobody in the world I grew up in drove a nice car. Nobody drove a nice car. I mean, nobody. And I kept going, why are we giving money away? Oh, we have to, my teachers, we gotta save the world. We gotta help. We gotta be strong. And great. We need to take care of ourselves. Now, as far as allies, I don't want to be allies if that means giving our money away. But does it benefit us to have Canada as an ally or as a territory, as it were? Yes, it does. Because Canada is actually resource rich. Uranium energy, oil energy, gas energy, rare earth extraction is starting up there. Yeah, it's an important country. It's a strategically important country because it is a buffer between us and Russia, who is just on the other side of the North Pole. Just on the other side. It's kind of like a big maypole up there. It's not this little candy cane striped little 4-foot pole. Nope. No, it's about 600 feet tall, and it looks like a Tesla tower. That's the North Pole. And no, that's a conspiracy theory. All right. Anyways, we need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. Our trading partners. Let's turn the word allies into trading partners. Trading partners that work with us, it should be a like-for-like exchange. We shouldn't be going in debt with them, and I don't want them going in debt with us. They should have to play or participate on an equal footing with respect to the cost of labor, the cost of production, the cost of energy, etc., so that we aren't taken advantage of with cheap labor. And basically, countries like China, which pollute like you can't believe, folks. We're having to clean up our air while China says, fuck it, we're going to build a new coal power plant, basically one a week, while they're building an incredible number of nuclear power plants to replace them. Chinese are not stupid by any stretch, but they are Chinese. All right. Great comment. Great talk. Uman, who's up next? We got name redacted. Taking back the Panama Canal that Bill Clinton gave away is a good thing. I believe it was Jimmy Carter who sold it back to them for $1, but Bill Clinton gave away the canal, I think, administration. If I remember that correctly, Bill Clinton got involved in a lot of things that were more than just Lewinsky and cigars. But it was Jimmy Carter that gave it back to them. I think that was a giant mistake. Everything Bill Clinton did was a giant mistake. But the Panama Canal, folks. If we looked at the Panama Canal and Panama as the most southern federal territory, we need to control that as a nation for shipping, commercial activity, national defense. Now, and again, we've learned that the Navy, the United States Navy, as it is currently configured, is outdated and outmoded. Folks, before World War II and the advent of the aircraft carrier and launching planes from the deck of carriers, before that, the king of the seas was the battleship. These big, swarthy, heavily armored, heavily armed, gigantic behemoths. They controlled the seas, the battleships. But with the advent of the carrier, they were able to engage the enemy with airplanes that were bombers and fighters from great distances, basically making the battleship a sitting target. Not quite as important, right? And the United States battleships, I think the Missouri was the last one to be decommissioned back in, I think it was under George Bush. In any event, folks, naval warfare is changing. Russians have always really stuck with submarines, attack submarines and boomers, nuclear weapons carrying submarines. But we're going into an age of drone technology, drone submarines, drone planes. I'm not a big fan of the drone thing, but you know what's funny? What's interesting is drone technology is not the pinnacle of technology. Will navies become obsolete? I don't know. The advent of hypersonic technology, being able to fly around the world in less than an hour. You don't need a navy sitting off the coast somewhere when you can just say, look, you've got 45 minutes. You've got 26 minutes before you become a pile of ash. We don't need a navy there to protect anything, right? We just need to push one little button. And it won't be the United States only that has this technology. So it is changing, but we still need the Panama Canal for the time being. But certainly for commercial purposes, which is national security, American prosperity, we need the canal. We certainly do. Until they can deliver us an Amazon package from China with a hypersonic drone, we'll have to use cargo ships. But cargo ships, by the way, are going to get a nuclear upgrade. The advent of micro or small modular reactors that can basically run for decades on a load of uranium will of course, burn less fuel, diesel fuels or bunker fuel, and be a lot cheaper to operate long term. A lot of this stuff is coming, folks. The world is changing again. Kind of like how we went from horse and buggy to the automobile, from wagon trains to steam engine trains, and then diesel trains and electromotives. All right, man, enough of my stuff. What else is out there? We've got chin music. He says, now that Mongo Mussolini is back in social media, companies are finding Jesus. You think ScrewTube will relent with their bullshit? Mango Mussolini, I believe, is Zark Muckerberg of Facebook, right? Yeah, their companies, they've had their come to Jesus moments, not in religion, folks, but rather free speech. Oh yeah, we better do free speech, right? In order to compete with Elon Musk, we owe Elon Musk a debt of gratitude for free speech and bringing it back and making free speech great again. At the same time, I got to ask Ooman this. Is Elon Musk part of the mob with Trump that wants to put hits out on the other side and fuck with the other side? Is he truly a or is Musk a plant? Right? Oh, I knew I would get you on. I knew I'd beat you. What do you got, man?
I don't know. I got to question Musk's motives as well. Like I said, none of this stuff makes me anti-Trump or anti-Musk. I just don't know these guys and what their personal motivations are here.
Well, that's
now,
just
my biggest question is, why is the EV king teaming up with the drill baby drill guy?
I can tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Okay,
Elon Musk is how old?
I don't know. He's in his 50s, isn't he?
Okay. I don't think he's as old as I am, but he's got to be close.
Late 40s, early 50s, I think.
So he's got another 40 years or so on his life. EVs rely on lithium-ion batteries, or if they go with the new Samsung silver batteries coming out, they rely on that. Those are metals that are not being produced in great quantities in the United States of America, but they are being produced in great quantities in the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada, and they will be produced. Lithium mines are being explored for and looked for. So, but it's going to take time. In order to transition from a gasoline diesel powered economy, which is transportation, and energy, we need to convert to electric, right? Elon Musk's electric world.
Correct.
So we need these mines, we need lithium, we need silver, we need these technologies developed, we need these rare earths, which I said are being developed right now. They need to get them out there into production, and then North America, Elon Musk, Tesla will have access to the technologies they need to continue. So that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, we need drill, baby, drill for the time being. The same way China is doing burn that coal, baby, burn the coal, right? In their power plants. They're building massive coal power plants. They've been buying literal. When I say literal, I mean boatload after boatload after boatload. They're stockpiling mountains of coal for the purpose of producing electricity while they build their nuclear power plants. They're going electric in China. And trust me, I'm sure they're going to have their Tesla knockoffs. They're going to have their silver battery knockoffs, their lithium ion technology. But they're going to be independent of us and want to be independent of us as much as we need to be independent of them. But that's my idea, Uman, that, yeah, Tesla needs to protect his market, America. He needs to protect his technology best he can, keeping it safe. And he needs to provide for himself, have a reliable source for said things. It's going to be one hell of a world. But or is he just selling us down the river, right?
Only time will tell, my friend. Only time will tell.
And
we just got to keep their feet to a fire. We just got to keep their feet to the fire. That's all we can do.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, we got a ton of questions here, man. So I'm going to pop off, and we'll keep moving along, all right?
Okay. And pow. Mikey G, fires in California. Hawaii, part 2. That's a great play, Mikey. Very, very, very witty. Duh is directed energy weapon. Oh, I feel it. That's why I was like L.A., Los Angeles, La Haina, L.A., La Haina. Even though it's one word, yeah, I see it. I smell it. It stinks. I don't like it. It's a conspiracy theory, but it stinks. All right, let's continue if we shall. Mr. Diving Frog, he says, I'm concerned Trump being under Israeli influence. Israel doesn't need America's help, though they've had enough. Let them handle their own shit. I'm in accord. Israel's a little country. So is Egypt. So is Ukraine. So is France, Germany, Austria. So is Sweden. Japan. I would rather help Japan. I think Japan is a better ally to us than Israel. What does Israel do for us? I don't understand the massive alliance that everyone thinks we should have with Israel. It is not, and this is a fact. Israel is not the 10 or 12 tribes of Israel being gathered back up. It's not Jacob Israel. It is the name of a secular government that was established 100 years ago by an Englishman. I don't think that they are God's chosen people. I think they're Israel, not the Israelites. And even still, who cares? Even if they were, why do we owe them anything? I mean, wasn't it the Israelites, the Jewish Sanhedrin and Pharisees that turned Jesus over to be crucified? Not enough religion. Let's move on. I know that's going to piss people off. Hey, think about it. Talk about it. We should talk about it. East Doors on X says the other NATO nations are tag-alongs. Oh, they tried saying, we're going to kick America out of NATO. That'll teach America. I'd be like, good. See you later, dumbasses. They haven't gotten anything right ever. I mean, one little country, Germany, was going to run all over Europe and Russia. If they had fought on one war front instead of 2 and 3, remember, the Germans also fought America. They would have won the war. I don't know if they'd have come across the ocean to America, but they'd have taken everything over. They were this close to pushing the English over, folks. They were that close to pushing England over. Crazy thing. Crazy, crazy world. No more details for now. Okay, Uman, who's up next? Mandara Uchiha on X says, basically the water in reservoirs have depleted in fire hydrants for firemen. Well, yes, understanding I'm from California, Northern California, mind you, but still, water from Northern California gets shipped in giant aqueducts. We have this thing called the California Aqueduct, where they take water out of the American River and other rivers in California and send it down south, down to LA. And LA takes water out of the Colorado River. They take water out of, you got Lake Mead there, the Hoover Dam. They take water out of that to feed this monstrosity. They create reservoirs to hold water. And they continue to want water. Mono Lake, they want the water. Folks, there were literal water wars in Los Angeles back over 100 years ago. It's always been a shithole of, well, dryness. So it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, they'll run out of water. And what will Governor Newsom do? I don't know. Wouldn't it be smart to have a bunch of nuclear power plants down there, right on the ocean, converting seawater into fresh water? And they'd have all the salt they can handle. All the salt they can handle. All right, Uman, who's up next? Thank you, Madara. We've got bump, ba-da-dump, bump, bump, bump. Some folks were saying, why aren't they using water from the ocean? Can't do that because it'll kill all the vegetation and poison the soil. Yeah, salt water, the salt still plants. You have a very limited number of plants that live in salty environments. Brackish is one of the terms used. I hear that in Florida here a lot because of the estuaries and the very slow-flowing rivers. The salt waters come up. In fact, in California, up north, the San Francisco Bay area, the Bay, is all salt water. And the salt will actually even travel up the rivers on slow river days or slow river months of summer, almost making it all the way into Sacramento. Crazy business, all the way making it almost to Stockton. Yeah, but I wouldn't say, I don't know if you want to use the word poison the soil, but it's going to take a lot more fresh water to push it down. The other part is getting the salt water at the ocean into a pipeline to use it to put out the fires, to fill buckets or trucks. The systems we have, the fire suppression system, aka fire departments, fire hydrants, they're supposed to be designed and to handle this sort of thing, but instead it's gotten out of hand. And I think the arson in chief in California, Mr. Newscum, I think he's happy with this. I think they're happy with it, folks. I think they want to get rid of us. I don't think they like us very much. In any event, let us continue if we shall. And Mr. Chin Music, thank you for sending me a sing-along about fruit salad. Name redacted said, all the worldwide insanity, the worldwide insane immigration issues were designed by the Soros groups, Tides Foundation, and Open Society. Yes. Mix enough stuff and you lose regional identity, you lose culture, you lose traditions, and you lose the law. They need to destroy America. The Constitution is an incredibly powerful, robust, and successful system of law and governance, and they want that gone. They can't control the United States of America if we've got a constitution and laws. So they need to invite people in. Same with Europe, same with Canada. Same with Europe, same with Canada. I haven't heard Mexico talk about the Aloha snack bar people too much. Haven't heard them complain about them a whole lot yet. Probably because they don't let them in. That's my big guess. Yeah, a lot of countries won't tolerate this shit because they've got enough of their own. Anyways, thank you, name redacted, and we are at the 1 hour mark. 1 hour mark. So I'm going to let you all go, but I want you to be prepared. I'm very serious. We're going into a time of change. Shit hit the fan back in 2020, March, with Cerveza Bug. It was followed up with a bunch of baloney, and then Operation Warp Speed. Come get your Jim Jones juice. Look out. The payments for that. They've started, but That debt has not been paid off. All of the bad decisions and pain. Get yourself detoxified if you can. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. And I will see you guys tomorrow.